Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Marlon Lewis.
Councilman Marlon Lewis.
Councilman Marlon Lewis.
With heads bowed and eyes closed in reverence to his utmost, his highest. Father, we come in the name of Jesus tonight just to say thank you, Lord God, for allowing us to be here one more time. Lord God, we thank you for every candidate that is coming to approach the podium now, announcing their candidacy, Lord God. We pray for them and their families, Lord God, in the community that they serve, Lord God. Because we know we come to serve your people, Lord God. You need people that are your ways, Lord God. Lord, we thank you, Lord God, and we praise you, Lord God. We ask you to govern this meeting as you always do, because you hold a great gavel in the sky, Lord God. Keep us in order, keep us in line, and let us ever be grateful, Lord God, for all that you've done. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, Councilman Lewis.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle.
Here.
Councilmember Natalie Lopez. Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Sherry Guidry.
Present.
Councilmember Dustin Sweer.
Here.
Thank you. Public comment. We have no public comment cards tonight. We have a lot of people addressing the council, though. I'll ask you at this time to silence your cell phones, put them on vibrate, and we'll move on to item 2.
Acceptance of the minutes of September 15th, 2020, as published on September 27th, 2020.
Do I have a motion? Councilman Lewis, do I have a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Ledbetter. Is there any discussion? Hearing, seeing none? I'll ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Madam Clerk, item 3. A.
Representative from the Unexpected Pregnancy Center, Moms and Babes Boutique, to address the council and inform of the work being done for the community in the center and boutique.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I would first like to thank Councilwoman Sherry Guidry for inviting me to speak about our organization. My name is Spring Viator, and I'm on the board of directors of the Mother Teresa Foundation. Our foundation was established in 2017, formed by local people in our community. The goal was to fill a need for expecting mothers by providing a women's center, a boutique, and a home for them. There are places like ours all over the country, so there was no need for us to reinvent the wheel. Since that time, we've opened up the Unexpected Pregnancy Center in July of 2018, and our Moms and Babes Boutique just opened this year. We're located on Persian Street between the courthouse and Terrio's. Unlike most businesses during these uncertain times, the Unexpected Pregnancy Center has been a little busier than usual. When a woman comes into our center, unexpectedly pregnant, she's scared, confused, and she doesn't know what to do. We provide her with a place of love and acceptance. She will receive a free pregnancy test and confirmation, references to an OBGYN, peer counseling, prenatal vitamins, and also an ultrasound. All of our services are free. We operate strictly on donations and volunteers from people in our community. We only have one paid staff that takes care of the day-to-day operations, and she also serves as a consultant as well. Once our client has finished her consultation, we offer her additional services. They're eligible for monthly vouchers for diapers, wipes, and anything else that she may need. We also offer a wide range of classes, from prenatal classes to taking care of her baby. We also have a father's program and a spiritual classes as well. These classes, the benefit of the classes not only expand their knowledge to become better parents, but they also what we call baby bucks. These baby bucks are equivalent to $1 that can be spent at our boutique. They can earn about $7 a week, and they can use the dollars to buy things such as cribs, strollers, high chairs, outfits. We even have bottles, bibs, and outfits, formula, food at a reduced cost. Our boutique isn't limited to just our clients. It is open to the public. It's an upscale resale shop that has gently used and new baby items, kids clothes to size 12, maternity clothing, and even handmade clothing at a very reasonable price. All of our clothes are washed, ironed, mended. All the toys are cleaned, sterilized. All the furniture is, painted if they're needed, and everything out to sale is really it's an upscale shop. We've been fortunate also to receive items that have already been very well cared for, are in a great condition for a second life. Now that we have the center and boutique, the next project we would like to focus on is a safe home for expecting mothers in need. I've had a couple of clients that could have benefited in housing. Unfortunately, in New Iberia, I haven't seen, anything that they offer just for women. At this time, we do have a house on the same property as our center and boutique. We're just not in the financial, or do we have the manpower to take care of that project right now. So if there's one thing that I've learned through working at the center and being a part of this ministry and community, people here in New Iberia are so generous and giving their time, talent, and gifts. And it is because of their generosity and love for our community that we've been successful so far. I would personally like to invite you all to take a tour of our center. It's open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4. Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 4. And on Fridays, 8 to 12. Our boutique is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. We're always welcoming new volunteers and supporters as well. Thank you again for allowing me to share our story. It's proof that when our community comes together for such a cause, great things happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 3D.
Janet Gonzalez from the Greater Iberia Chamber of Commerce to address the council and discuss the 2020 Gumbo Cook-Off.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me a few minutes on the agenda tonight. Usually I come here asking for help to use the Bulani Plaza and the pavilion and all that for the World Championship Gumbo Cook-Off. And obviously we're not going to be able to do that this year, but we still thought it was important to come before you and show our gratitude for 31 years of help. I'm glancing back at Heather because her team is always a big help in getting things ready. 31 years of helping with the Gumbo Cook-Off, and we really appreciate that. And so if you're wondering where the event is going to be this year, it's going to be at your place, is how we've planned it. So we've created some pieces that we think will help you celebrate, but just like the Sugar Cane Festival, we're hoping that people will spend some time this weekend remembering their favorite gumbo cook-offs and what it's been like to participate. We are doing assuming that Hurricane Delta does not interrupt us, we are doing a virtual live cooking demonstration from Maison La Roger on Saturday at 2 p.m. and it's going to be professionally done. It's going to be entertaining. It's really going to be a great time, and that is going out. We're promoting that all over the country through social media and through search engine marketing, and we're getting an incredible amount of visibility for our community and the event in this off year, which we're really excited about. But anyway, you'll have the opportunity to participate in the virtual cooking demonstration, and then also we've gathered some of our past champions together and created a 90-minute gumbo movie, so to speak. And again, there's 3 different gumbos being prepared. There's a pecan pie, there's some adult beverages, on and on. It's just really a good time. And so we're hoping that you'll gather with your family and friends at your home and make a gumbo and watch the virtual cooking demonstration or the master class. And we also have merchandise, just like we do every year. And one of our favorite pieces is in 2012, we had a Louisiana swamp cabin, and that was our best-selling poster ever. So we revived that, and we're rebranding it the Ultimate 2020 Staycation. So that's our little COVID memorabilia here. But we've got the t-shirts and the aprons and all that there. So you can find out about all of this at shop.iberiachamber.org. It's where you can register for the cooking demonstrations or the movie. Come by the office and get your merchandise so you don't have to pay posting. But we are shipping all over the country, and we're pretty excited about that. So again, thank you for your time, and again for all the years of support. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Item 3C.
Roger Hamilton to address the council and announce candidacy for 16th Judicial District Judge for Division H.
Good evening,
You.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name's Roger Hamilton. I'm running for District Court Judge, Division H. Grew up here in New Iberia, played baseball here, volunteered coach here. I'm from New Iberia. When I graduated from New Iberia Senior High in 1994, I attended Nicholls State University in 1998, and then went on to LSU Paul M. Hebert Law Center in 2001. After completing law school, I came back here, clerked for Judge DeMai in the 16th Judicial District for about 10 months. After that, I've worked 5 years in the District Attorney's Office here in the 16th, and the last 13 years I spent in the 15th Judicial District in the parishes of Acadia, Vermilion, and Lafayette. I've also had 18 years of civil practice, doing personal injury cases, successions, family law, and business litigation. No stranger to local government, as I serve as the city attorney for the city of Jeanerette, and I've also been an adjunct professor at South Louisiana Community College and at Nicholls State University. If elected as a judge, there's 3 things that I will bring to the bench. 1 is being fair. The judge has to be fair and independent. 2, accessibility, to be accessible to the community. And 3, being able to listen to both sides of the argument, regardless of the background, before making my decision. So I'm Roger Hamilton. I'm from the community, for the community, and I hope that y'all can support me on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you. 3D.
Anthony Salimi to address the council and announce candidacy for 16th Judicial District Judge for Division F.
I'd like to thank the mayor and council for the opportunity to address y'all. My name is Anthony Salimi. I'm from Morgan City over in St. Mary Parish. I've been an attorney for 26 years. The last 23 years I've served as an assistant district attorney here in the 16th Judicial District, first serving in St. Martin Parish for 7 years starting in 1997. In the last 16 years I've served in St. Mary Parish in our Franklin office. I've been the head of that office in Franklin since 2013. And I am seeking the seat of 16th Judicial District Court Judge for Division F. When you're in front of a judge, it means something's going wrong. You either find yourself having to sue somebody, or you find yourself being sued, or maybe you've been the victim or a witness to a crime, or maybe you find yourself charged with having committed an offense. In any event, you want your judge to be 3 things. You want your judge to be honest, you want your judge to be fair, and you want your judge to know what they're doing. And I think I hit the mark on all 3 of those. In my 26 years as an attorney, I've developed a reputation for integrity and honesty among all my partners in the legal system, law enforcement, the judges, the clerk's office. But don't just ask the people I work with, ask the people I work against. Talk to the defense bar and they'll tell you. Even though we're adversaries in the courtroom, when I tell them something, they know that I say what I mean and I mean what I say, and they can rely on what I say. For fairness, my opponents are both civil attorneys, great people. Civil attorneys represent one client. They represent a person, a business, an entity, be it a partnership or a corporation, but they represent that one client and that one client's interest. And it's whether that one client's interest is good for the community or bad for the community. As a prosecutor, I don't have one client. A prosecutor's client is the state of Louisiana. Every time I step into the court, I represent the state of Louisiana, and in particular the 16th Judicial District, the people here. My client is the general public. And despite what you may have seen on Law and Order or Criminal Intent or any of the other courtroom dramas, a prosecutor's duty is not to get a conviction. The prosecutor's duty is to seek justice. And that's not just something that's put on a print somewhere in somebody's office to sound good. That's in the American Bar Association's model rules for prosecutors. So as prosecutors, I think we're uniquely qualified when it comes to seeking fairness, because we do that every time that we screen a case. Fairness is different for every case that comes in front of us. For some people and the crimes they commit, it may be going to jail, because some people have committed crimes that require jail time. For somebody else, it may be recognizing that they have a substance abuse problem or a mental health issue, and they need help rather than jail. And sometimes it's recognizing that the facts and the law say that what this person did was not a crime, and we should not do anything with the case. Finally, you want your judge to know what they're doing. In my 23 years with the District Attorney's Office, I've tried over 40 jury trials, over 200 bench trials, both felony and misdemeanor, and thousands of motion hearings. You want your judge to know what they're doing in the courtroom. It's important. And that's not something that you can read in a book. That's something that you can get only from doing. And you need to know what you're doing in times like this because of the environment that we live in, where we have to wear masks and we're limited on the number of people that can be in court. You have to know what you're doing first to make the adjustments to account for what stage we're in. Now, there's 3 people running in this race, one from each of the 3 parishes in this district. There's a natural tendency to just want to vote for the local candidate. I'm going to ask you to fight that inclination. I know it's easy, but I'm going to ask you to educate yourself about the 3 candidates. Look at our backgrounds. Look at our experience. When you're in front of a judge, something important's at stake. Your money, your property, maybe how much time you get to spend with your kids, maybe your liberty, maybe your life. It's too important to base it strictly on geography. I like to equate it to going to your general physician and finding out you have a serious condition and you're being asked, I'm going to need to refer you to a specialist. How many people would say, who's the closest? Is there one next door I could go to? No, people want to go to the best. Educate yourself about the candidates, look at our background and our experience, and vote for the most qualified. And I'm asking you to support me come November 3rd, or if you're early voting, October 16th to the 27th. Anthony Tony Salimi. Thank you.
Thank you. 3E.
Keith Thibodeau to address the council and announce candidacy for 16th Judicial District for Division F.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. First off, thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. I'm Keith Thibodeau. I'm running for also the 16th Judicial District Court Division F Judgeship. The 16th Judicial District, very importantly, consists of the parishes of St. Martin, Iberia, and St. Mary. I've been a practicing attorney in the district for over 30 years. I'm married to Bonnie Laprousse. We're the proud parents of 4 beautiful children, 2 grandchildren, all of whom work right here in the district. I have served for a number of years and currently serve as the attorney for the St. Martin Parish Clerk of Court, attorney for the St. Martin Parish Assessor's Office, also attorney for the St. Martin Parish Water Districts. In that experience, going back, if I may, to my early work history, law wasn't always in the plans. I did begin when my wife and I were dating by telling her the little Johnny and me wanted to become a Louisiana State Trooper. So she, knowing my wife, she's fair, but she's firm. She turned to me and said, well, can't you choose something else in the legal field? I don't want that knock at midnight that tells me I've now become a widow. So I said, but always in the back of my mind, I knew something in the legal field would draw me in and I would, again, pursue a career in the legal field. Well, after completing our junior year, my best friend and I, over in high school, decided at that particular time that we wanted to be just like our buddies who had welding machines in the back end, who were turning tons of money, and we were going to do just the exact same thing. We're going to earn tons of money. So during our senior year, fortunately, our high school principal allowed us not only to complete our 2 hours of credit, but to come over here, Iberia Teshek Area Vocational Technical School, and we obtained an electrician certificate. Worked as an electrician right here in Iberia for DeLome Industries. Worked also offshore for a period of time, but neither he or I could guess what would happen. The oil and gas industry took a turn for the worse. So at that point in time, my wife and I, not yet married, I said, you know what, if I'm going to pursue anything in the legal career, now's the time. I think I want to become an attorney. Went over to what was then USL, which is of course now UL of Lafayette, obtained a business degree, came back to Iberia Parish, again worked here. And at that point in time, my wife and I packed up, went over to Baton Rouge. I earned, fortunately, my law degree from LSU Law Center and came back to the 16th Judicial District. I clerked for Judge Buddy Fleming, Robert Fleming, Buddy Fleming as most often people would refer to him. And as we may all do looking back at life, I think one of the decisions he helped me make was just where was I going to pursue my legal career. At the end of the one-year clerkship with Judge Fleming, he said, you know what, you ought to go over back to St. Martin Parish. There's an attorney there by the name of Bert Willis who's been practicing forever. I bet he could use a young man such as yourself. Well, when I went over to interview with Mr. Willis, there was 2 requirements. The first thing is, "Tu parles français, monsieur Thibodeau?" Oui, we speak French, no problem. Second requirement was, do you have any inkling of what and who you would wish to represent as legal clients? I said, Mr. Willis, I've clerked for a year. I haven't represented any clients yet. He said, well, this particular building has been here for 30 years. We take in anyone who has a fighting chance. We believe, my uncle who's an attorney here, my brother who's an attorney here, that if someone has a fighting chance with legal issues, we take it on. Here we are, fast forward 30 years later, that's what I have done. I have represented people from all walks of life, criminal matters, civil matters, no matter what the matter was. If that particular client had a fighting chance at achieving a result in court which was fair, we did it. I have that experience. I am the only candidate in this race who has both breadth of experience and length of experience. In the 30 years, if I've learned nothing, I've learned that in order to fairly represent clients in the courtroom, not only must you be knowledgeable, but also you must have that background of having helped people to achieve a just result. We often see both in the news media and on the street people speaking of, oh, justice, we must obtain justice, justice. What exactly is justice? I think it's an extremely simple term. After 30 years, it's getting what you deserve in a courtroom. Perhaps not what you wanted out of the courtroom, but what you deserve. I've been able to do that. As your judge, having represented people from this district for the past 30 years, I feel that I am uniquely qualified to continue that experience for you as the people's judge. I'm not a politician. I'm not a prosecutor. I owe no political dues to anyone. For a judgeship, I believe that is invaluable. In order to make a fair decision, my decision must be based on the courtroom evidence together with the law applicable to those facts. I have that experience. I want to put that experience to work for all of you, the people of the 16th Judicial District Court. I humbly ask for your vote November 3rd. And again, thank you for having me here today. Thank you.
Thank you. 3F.
Ricky Gonsoulin to address the council and announce candidacy for Mayor Pro Tem for the city of New Iberia.
Thank you, Councilman Mayor. I won't take a whole bunch of your time because I've sat in your seats and know that the agenda in front of you is very lengthy. But my name is Ricky Gonsoulin. I'm married to Ronnie Lane Booty Gonsoulin. I am a graduate of NISH, 1990 graduate of NISH, 1985 graduate of NISH, and 90 graduate year in industrial engineering. I am a former Iberia Parish Council for 8 years, serving as finance chairman, as well as other positions on the council. I currently serve as Farm Bureau president for the last 15 years, selected at St. Peter's Church, and a Eucharistic minister, amongst other tasks. I'm the owner and operator of Gonsoulin Farms LLC, Gonsoulin Holdings LLC, and 5R Holdings LLC. So I'm rooted in Iberia Parish. I'm born and raised here. My kids are here. Iberia Parish gave me a place to send my kids to school, gave me a place to house my business. He gave me a place to worship. It also gave me a place to volunteer with great people. And that's what it's about. And you ask me, well, Ricky, you know what? Why do you want to serve as a mayor pro tem? Well, you know why? Immensely, I enjoy serving. Secondly, I have the experience to be a successful mayor pro tem. I can hit the ground running. I know what to do, and I know how to serve, and I know how to negotiate with people and other council members. I've done it. I've been there. I've balanced budgets. I've voted on projects that were in favor and not in favor, and I know how to handle those situations. And I truly enjoy doing that. So another question would be, you know, what projects? A lot of people come and say, Ricky, what projects would you focus on in the city? Well, short answer is everything. Yes, all of them. Well, where will I be rooted? I want to be rooted in the budget and infrastructure. You know why? Budget and infrastructure is so important in any governmental entity. Because if without the infrastructure, without the budget for the government, you can't fund public works department. I mean, I can shoot some numbers. I looked at you guys' audits, you know, $54 million in net assets, you know, a little over $14 million in public security police department, you know, $7.5 million in public works and $5.5 million in wastewater. So I know it's big business. I know you guys have a $3 million surplus. That takes hard work. And I'm immensely proud of this mayor and this council for moving this city forward from a deficit to a $3 million surplus, creating a new police department. That's something to hang your hat on. And I want to add my experience and my energy to that cause. So, you know, when you look at everything that's going on in the city and the challenges we're facing, you know, you think outside the box and you say, you know, what is it all about? Well, you know what it's about? It's our city, it's our community, and it's our choice. And what you mean by our choice? It's our choice to be fair to the taxpayers. It's our choice to make the right decision. It's our choice to streamline government. It's our choice to create economic development jobs for our community. And it's our choice to work hard and get our hands dirty and make a difference. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I plan on doing. I'm the most experienced candidate in this race, and I plan on serving as your next mayor pro tem, number 90, Ricky Gonsolin, for mayor pro tem. Thank you all.
Thank you. Item 3G. Oh, yes, sir.
By the way, I apologize I have to leave, but we are shutting all the sugar mills down in the state, so I have a meeting to go to. But otherwise I'd stay for the budgets. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, 3G.
Corey Porter to address the council and announce candidacy for city marshal for the city of New Iberia.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Corey Porter. I know most of you. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm Corey Porter. I'm your candidate for city marshal for the city of New Iberia. My ballot number is number 85. My work experience and knowledge in law enforcement provides me to be the best candidate for city marshal for this city. The things that I want to bring is working on our community to make it safe. I know that office of the city marshal has a lot more that it could do for this community. And I know I'm the man for that task. If I could approach, I could give everyone one of my cards, please. I made this card to simplify what I have to say. And I can tell you, I didn't put all my experiences on here, and then I put all my knowledge on here. But I did give you a taste of what I bring to the city. I'm asking for your support, and I'm asking for the city's support as well. Help elect me starting October 16th to October 27th, early election, and November 3rd as your city marshal for the city of New Iberia. And I'm just keep it simple like that. Thank you for your time.
Madam Clerk, 3H.
Benjamin Myers to address the council and announce candidacy for New Iberia City Councilman, District 2.
Hello, Mayor, council and audience. Back before you again. I appreciate you all allowing us to come and announce our candidacy here tonight. I would like to start off briefly by pointing out that we had a questionnaire. All our city council members and people running for city council had to answer with the Daily Iberian. So I'm going to try to do like Mr. Porter, Mr. Gonsalves, and try to read from his answers and keep it brief. All right. I have a brief description of my background here, of my volunteer work that I've done in the past, as well as other job opportunities that I've held. I was one substitute teacher in the Iberia Parish school system. I've also worked construction with a construction company in the past, and as well as security. When it comes down to my volunteer services, I volunteer, visited nursing homes and things of that sort, and hospitals until the pandemic came about and changed that, very drastically. But I still took a joy in bringing joy to the folks in the nursing home, as well as bringing love and well-being and messages and information from their loved ones who are out here and about in our area. I've also had the opportunity to volunteer at Anderson Middle School with their band. Anderson Middle School band parades out of town and things of that nature I have, and I'm also currently on the list of Anderson Middle School volunteers because I have a young son that attends Anderson Middle School at this time. I'd like to go on to the next thing, and I would like to say this, the reason that I ran for the city council. This question came up as one of the things we had in Daily Iberian. This case in our district, we have a situation. We have a candidate, of course, and I don't mean to be no disrespect, no intended disrespect, Mr. Marlon Lewis. But it's been a question, it's been a question of whether or not Mr. Lewis resides in the district. And a lot of citizens throughout the district has posed that question to me and asked why don't we look or investigate that matter. Well, explanation to the council people and everyone who might be concerned. It was looked into by Mr. Andy Shealy with the district attorney's office, all right? And the investigation didn't show any ill one way or the other. I think Mr. Shealy kind of held his hand down on this for whatever the reasons are. And to me, personally, I think it's sabotage and it's probably election fraud at its finest. But I'm not going to elaborate any further on that. It's just a simple explanation to some of the folks who literally ask, why didn't we challenge this candidacy because of his domicile or residency? I would like to go on further to talk about some of the things that I think that we should pay attention to. My main thing would be with paying attention to our roads. We need to start off with that. We have a lot of damaged roads throughout New Iberia. We don't need anybody to tell us what roads are damaged, like, have another report, engineer do a survey and say what roads are damaged. We know which roads are really damaged in our districts and in our areas. For an example, like we have this LaSalle Street location between Washington Street and St. Peter Street. It's in deplorable shape. I mean, it's just terrible. We have roads like St. Jude Street is in deplorable shape. We also have on Fulton Street, where it's St. Matthew's Cemetery, where we all have loved ones and relatives and friends in that cemetery, and we visited for funerals. That road is really deplorable as well. I think for that particular area, we don't just need to overlay that road. We also need to put sidewalks on both sides because that area is used by pedestrians a lot in that particular area. I'd also like to go on to talk about the corporations that we deal with. We have franchise contracts with Cox and Clico and people of that likes. Now, we are our cooperation board, the city council, and I think with respect to that, we should conduct ourselves when it comes down to doing business. Right now, no one is paying attention to what Cox and literally Clico are doing when it comes down to their price ranges and they're setting up their rates. Last year, Clico deliberately gave people a $14 stipend if you use 1,000 megahertz of hours electricity to blind them for the fact that they were before the Public Service Commission at that exact same time asking for a rate increase, which Clico increased their rate soon after the Australians bought their company, so this is one thing I think that we need to pay attention to and have Clico come before the city council here and let's try to negotiate a rate decrease, because it drastically affects the citizens of District 2 and primarily the people of District 5, because a lot of those folks are seniors and are on fixed income, so we need to pay attention to that, and if seated in that seat, that's one of the main issues that I will focus on, those two places, because Cox as well. We can't even bring the city council meetings like we have it to our citizens' home because they can't afford to have Cox service. And that's the only way we can see the meetings, if we say about being transparent. And the citizens need some assistance in that area. We need someone to speak for us because Cox got surcharges and fees, like just absorbent. You know, I mean, we have one in particular called Regional Sports. They charge every citizen $6. You know, who receives scholarships from Regional Sports. Now, I don't know about you, but my mama don't watch a bunch of regional sports. You know, older citizens, they don't. You know, they can't afford, you know, those steady rate increase and all those fees. So again, we need to pay close attention to that. All right, now I look where the city is moving forward. You know, we're moving forward when it came down to our police department, of course. We put together a police department, and I think that's fine. We needed it, all right? We need it. Now, there are a few things that we might can do going forward, like, for example, add traffic cameras on our poles throughout the city, as Lafayette have. You know, we can place those cameras and have them in areas where we have high crime and things of that nature. And if nothing else, you know, the cameras themselves might serve as a deterrent to some of those crimes, as well as be an eyewitness to something if it does happen. You know, these are the type of things we need to look forward to. But we also need to pay attention to when our police are going out, especially when it comes down to misdemeanor type of calls. I think that they should be handled, investigated, and charged if they are necessary to have charges brought for misdemeanors. And I think that would help de-escalate some of the crime in some of those areas in the community in our neighborhood. You know, so we have quite a few things that we can pay attention to. One of the other things that I would like to bring attention to this council as well as the citizens, we still having a problem with drainage on the west end of town. The areas like St. Edward subdivision, I mean, it is, every time it rains hard, it's still steady flooding, you know, so I think we need to pay close attention to things like that, you know, so this would be some of the main issues that I think that we need to address as a city council. Now, when it comes to the roads and streets, you know, folks say, well, okay, we need to pass a Florida bond. Well, I think if we manage the monies that we have the 1961 tax that's designed for roads and streets, park and recreation, and police. I think if we take that money and divide it equally on a yearly basis, dedicating that 1/3 to roads, that 1/3 to park and recreation, that 1/3 to police, that allow us the opportunity to accumulate enough to where we can get some roads done, and probably might in that time can get some even grant money, matching money to get those roads done. So again, this is another way to, you know, say attack this road problem, just in case we can't float a bond or pass a tax to support the road, but we need it desperately. So I think if we accumulate that money over time, we can do this. Also, when it comes down to park and recreation, you know, we shut down the swimming pool, all right, which I thought wasn't the brightest idea, but it has happened. I think that we can, with that money divided equally at 1961 tax, we can dedicate that money to park and recreation, raise money, of course, enough to, say, get matching money through grants that we've been getting for other recreational projects, and rebuild that swimming pool. You know, I mean, it was a health and safety thing for us when we lived on, when we were going to the pool as kids, the youngsters. I mean, we learned to swim there, and learning to swim can be a life-saving device. You know, it's this thing I think that we can do. So we have those things that I think that we ought to be paying attention to. So again, yeah, I appreciate you guys letting me speak here. You know, I would like to work with you all, whatever thing possible in New Iberia to make it best for us all. All right, all of our citizens, not just the citizens of District 2. This is why I put so much emphasis on this thing with CLECO, who has run away with our cost of electricity because we're not paying attention that they're doing these things. And we are our corporate board, and we should be paying better attention and protect our citizens from this price gouging and higher rate charging that we've been experiencing. Again, I thank you all for allowing me to speak. Ask my citizens in District 2, I ask for your vote and your support in this upcoming election. Don't forget, early election is October the 16th through the 27th, and our election date is November the 3rd. Again, my number is number 94. On your ballot is number 94. My name is Benjamin T. Myers, and again, I thank you all, and may God bless us all. Thank you all kindly.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, item 4A.
Ordinance number 2020-2021-01, adopting a budget for the city of New Iberia for the fiscal year ending October 31st, 2021.
I need a motion to open our public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry and a second by the Mayor Pro Tem Randolph. Is there any public comment on this item? Item 4A. Hearing and seeing no public comment, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
Councilwoman Guidry and the Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you all very much. Now we move on to resolutions. Item 5.
Resolution 2063, appointing Joe Nathan Livingston as Director of Public Works for the City of New Iberia.
Joe Nathan, please come up.
You doing, Mayor and Council members? How y'all doing?
Good. It's my pleasure to recommend Joe for our Public Works Director. I'll tell you a quick story. I asked Joe if he wanted it, and he told me no. We continue to work together. He did a great job of stepping up and filling in, trying to fill the shoes of Leroy, who retired. After 2 or 3 weeks, I said, Joe's my guy. I asked him again. The second time we talked about it, we had a lengthy conversation, and Joe decided that it would be something he wanted to pursue. But I'll tell you that working through the last hurricane, the police chief, with no provocation, no nothing, one day said, Fred, why doesn't Joe be the department head? Separate meeting, the fire chief said, man, you got your department head sitting right there, Joe. So I said, I know, I'm trying to get him for 3 weeks. So anyway, long story short, I'm thrilled. I hope that you agree with my selection. I think Joe would do a great job for us. He's got a ton of experience, and he's already doing it, and we proceed, and we move, and we're making headway. Joe's a lot of fun to work with. So if I would have a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have, man, it was a bunch. I don't know who beat who. Councilman Lewis, and who was the second? Dustin, okay. Councilman Swear. Is there any discussion or any questions or any items for Mr. Livingston?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
he's a pretty good public works director because this is his first day and everybody's got raises already.
Yeah, I'm giving more reason.
That's it, man. Joe,
yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
I just want to thank you, Mayor, and thank you to the council for your support. Thank you.
Good. Any further questions or anything?
I just want to say congratulations, man.
Thank you, Mayor.
Congratulations, man. You've been doing a good job, Good job.
Thank you.
I'm glad you got it.
All right, thank you.
Any further comments? Yes, ma'am.
And I say congratulations,
They got to vote too,
You gotta
Joe.
vote. Yeah, you gotta vote.
Joe Nathan.
Thank you.
I appreciate the fact that when I called, even though you were operating as interim, you came on the spot. There was overflowed dumpster that was there, and you came. We discussed it. You handled it, and next thing I know, it was done, and it was overflowing into the streets. And I called Miss Sandra at City Hall, which we call Mama, but we're not gonna tell nobody. And and next thing you know, Joe Nathan was there. So congratulations to you, sir. Well deserved.
Thank you.
And welcome aboard as director.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to say probably congratulations and all. Your predecessor and I had a very good relationship, and I look forward to having the same with you. I do have your phone number, and I will call you. Yes, we have spoken. So I just want to say, continue to do a good job, and, congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Rizard.
Thanks for keeping an open door at Public Works, you and as predecessor. You've always kept an open door. We appreciate that. We can talk to you personally sometime. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
So keep that open if you don't mind.
All right.
Anybody else? Well, I would ask you to vote your machines. Thank you all very much. There you go, Jim.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow morning to talk about the hurricane. 8:30. Madam Clerk.
Let's see. I got my wife and my daughter in the audience. I just want to see.
Oh, good. Hi, y'all. Can't forget that. You got to go home. Item 5B.
Resolution 2064, appointing Haley Beatty as Director of Section 8 for the City of New Iberia.
Hello,
Good evening.
everyone. My name is Haley Beatty. I'm here to be appointed as the next director for Section 8. I have 16 years experience as a multifamily property manager, and I've also worked on communities with Section 8. So I'm very familiar with the program. I'm excited for this opportunity, excited to work with all of you and the city of New Iberia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
As y'all know, Brian has chosen to retire after 42 years. So what great service. And Brian helped me with this, and we kind of went through some interviews and talked to a few people. And when Brian and I interviewed Haley, when she left, Brian said, you know, I think she has the skill set and, you know, would really be able to fill that position. So I'm bringing her forward to do exactly that. See any questions, comments?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some big shoes.
I know, he's been here a long time.
Anybody else?
Ditto to what Mr. B said.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, all the staff, you know, Robin and Sally are still there. You've already met with them.
Yes.
And Brian, if you'd see the flight plan that Brian filed,
Laid out
okay?
it all
Look,
for
he
me.
laid it out. It's you think we got an agenda tonight? And we do. That's about how Brian's plan looks, but he covered everything. I mean, he laid it out for the next 4 or 5 months. He laid out, he prepaid things he could pay. He did everything he could do
Yes.
to try to make, you know, a smooth transition. So I think that you've gotten a little bit of a transition, and I think he's leaving you in very capable hands with the staff, because his staff does a great job. So, you know, it's not, she's not in it by herself the first day, which is great. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, I ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Welcome
you.
aboard.
Thank you.
We didn't have a motion in a second.
Oh, I didn't get a motion? Urge. Sorry. All right, well, scratch that. Yeah, we'll redo it. I just messed up. I was excited. I need a motion. Motion by Councilman Broussard, a second by Councilwoman Guidry. Now, would you please vote your machines? Thank you. Hey, you got it twice. Huh? Thanks for catching me. Now we move on to item 5C.
Resolution 2065, appointing Kayla Myers to the Dangerous Animal Committee.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I really don't know what to say.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I'll get a motion. Do I have a motion to appoint her?
Motion.
Councilman Broussard. Second, Councilman Ledbetter. Any discussion or questions? What's your background?
I've been working at All Creatures Veterinary Hospital for 4 to 5 years, almost 5 years. So I'm very familiar, and I see some familiar faces, you guys. I love animals, and I think that this is something I really am looking forward to, because every animal deserves a chance, but there is some that do need to be considered put down, or, you know, get training or other options and things like that, and I would really like to play a part in that. Because I've been around animals my whole life, and I have 4 dogs, 3 cats, you know, so I'm familiar with everything.
Great, great. I read your resume, but I wanted them to hear, because it doesn't happen often, but unfortunately we do get dog bites, we do have issues, and I really liked your background and thought, man, she'd fit the bill great. So,
Yeah, I'm
but I
familiar
wanted
with
them
the
to hear
quarantine
that.
process and everything, so nothing new.
Good, good. Anybody have any questions?
So, if we have a dangerous animal,
I'm probably was going to say, but I was going to ask, what is the dangerous animal
Oh, that follows our ordinance, and when we have an issue, let's, use an example, a dog bites someone, we have a complaint, it goes to the police department, we convene which we've done, we convene the Dangerous Dog Committee, and they meet and they look at the case and they try to decide what to do with the animal, because we know, sometimes it has to be put down, sometimes it can go to training, every once in a while it's kind of more the owner's fault than the dog. In a lot of the instances, but we do convene the committee because it's part of the ordinance, and we go through the process and they come up with a ruling for how to handle the dog. And it could be anything from better kennel to being muzzled to, a better fenced-in yard. It could be, as severe, and it has in the past, that the animal is destroyed. But that's why we have a committee, we have an ordinance for it, and it does work. It works well.
So it's kind of like a little jury.
In a way, yeah, the dog's on trial. Yep.
I don't think we ever talked about it since we've been.
No, but we've done it. We've had a couple of them. We've had a
Very
couple of them.
frequently, they just quarantine for 14 days.
Right.
Because most common cases, it's someone who went into the dog's territory.
Yep.
And they kind of not asked for it, but put themselves into
A
the.
few times they asked for it.
Yeah.
Dustin.
So at the
Councilman
There-
Swear.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You welcome.
Mayor. So after a dog bite incident takes place, how long does it take for the committee to meet? Like, how long does it take for it to go into action for the committee to get together?
Not that long. The animal control picks the dog up, and then we really start making, you know, like if it's on the weekend, it might be the Monday, but we
Right.
start making the calls, and it's pretty quick.
Okay, all right, that's,
And in the meantime, the dog is held because they got to have to test the dog for rabies. They have to, you know, make sure that it's not sick or something. So it doesn't take long. Anybody else? Nothing? Great. Well, then I ask you please vote your machines. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for volunteering. 5D.
Resolution 2066, approving certificate of substantial completion for Beard Construction Company Incorporated for services and supplies to re-roof the Bulleney Plaza gazebo.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl. Second, Councilwoman Guidry. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing, seeing none? Please vote your machines. Thank you. Thank you very much. Item 5E.
Resolution 2067, approving certificate of substantial completion for Preferred Electric Incorporated for FEMA project number 2, electrical contractors.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing, hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 5F.
Resolution 2068, rescheduling the New Iberia City Council meeting from November 3rd, 2020 to November 4th, 2020.
Do I have a motion? Councilman Broussard. Do I have a second? Councilman Lewis. We have any discussion on this item? It's election day, so that's why we're moving it. Hearing, seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. 5G.
Resolution 2069, authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement between the City of New Iberia and architect Paul Alain, as well as allocation of funds for payment of professional services allocated with re-roofing Sear Gates Community Center and West End Community Center.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Guidry and Councilman Lewis. Thank you. This is some of the capital outlay money we haven't received yet. We had some money in the budget as well. Our new budget starts November 1. This would allow architects to begin. They are tricky roofs. They're flat roofs. They're metal roofs. They're a big combination of all kind of roofs. And we've had nothing but continuous problems since I've been here. It's a lot of deferred maintenance. We've patched the roofs. We've actually done work and renovated the exteriors and painted the gyms. We really want to get inside and do some interior work in the next year or two, but we got to do the roof. The roofs have to come next. I mean, I have to have new roofs before we go in and spend money on the interior. It doesn't make any sense. So that's what this is. Any questions?
Mayor, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I remember when we did some work at West End and we put those different air conditioners. Are they gonna take that big air conditioner off the roof?
Yes.
For the weight and
Yes.
just sealing that hole?
Yeah, it has been removed already. The unit's off and we sealed the hole.
So you can take the curb off?
But the curb and stuff, when we redo that roof, we're gonna have to redo that. That at the time, we could get the unit off, change the air conditioners and patch the roof. But it's gonna continue to give us some issues up there, just the way it's constructed.
Right.
It's old, I mean, it's seen its day. So, that will be addressed,
I just wanna
certainly.
make sure.
It needs to.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Then I would ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. That's exciting. That's gonna be a good project. Madam Clerk, 5H.
Resolution 2070, authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement between the City of New Iberia and architect Paul Alain, as well as allocation of funds for payment of professional services allocated with re-roofing the 911 facility located at 459 East Main Street and the Marquee located at 129 East Main Street.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl, second by Councilman Swear. Do we have any discussion on this item?
Mayor, I got a question.
Yeah, sure.
When we're going back with the new roofs, for Paul's here, are we going back with the tar and rock or going with the white vinyl? Like
We're not gonna be able, coal tar they don't make anymore. Coal tar roofs lasted 40, sometimes 50 years, but they're not made anymore. Environmentally, we can't. So it would be more of either some combination of metal, because all these roofs have metal on them. We have some asbestos slate on this building to deal with. That would probably be replaced by metal. And then we would have some membrane roofing instead of rocks and tar. That's kind of the old way of doing it.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure. Any other discussion? Then I would ask you please vote your machines. Thank y'all very much. That's very needed. In the detectives and offices now, we have literal trash cans. They went to Lowe's and bought new trash cans to catch the water. Yeah, I mean, we have patched and really tried. It is long overdue. So thank y'all for that. Madam Clerk?
Resolution 2071, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract for collection and disposal of yard waste and collection and disposal of bulky waste between the City of New Iberia and Pelicans Waste and Debris LLC, and a termination of the existing agreement with Gordon's Disposal LLC.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilwoman Lopez, Councilman Lewis. I'd like to explain. I'll give you a quick explanation on this. Gordon wants to retire. He has become, there he is. He would like to retire, okay? So Gordon came to me, said, I'd like to do some hurricane cleanup and kind of chase some storms, but other than that, I would like to retire, okay? So we had some discussions about it. Said, yeah, but I got a contract. I mean, I got, a responsibility. We put out prices. We got new prices. And I told him from the beginning, if we can work it out, that all the prices come in, well, let's look at it. It's worth looking at. Gordon has served our community for a long time and done a good job. And he still has the hurricane contract, which I'm hoping we don't have to initiate. Anyway, so we got new prices, and we actually got prices lower than where Gordon was. So that allowed me to say, okay, I could enter into a new contract with Pelicans. The city doesn't lose any money. It's a good deal. I only did it for 2 years because that contract time ends in 2 years, as does Republic's. When those end in 2 years, I want to be able to rebid everything. And there are many companies now that would do it all. In other words, Pelicans could do it all. Republic could do it all. Acadian, there are other companies out there. It was weird to call them and get prices and say, okay, because what they all wanted was the whole contract. In other words, everybody was saying, well, let me bid on everything right now. Well, I couldn't do that because we have a contract with Republic that's still in place for 2 years. So I didn't do that and said, bid on this or don't bid. I mean, that's all I can have you do because I want to be fair to everyone, fill this gap for the 2 years, and then bid everything out. So it ended up working out. It was a lot of work, and it was a little scary at times because, I didn't know what was going to happen. But that's where we are. That's why we're doing this. Gordon, you got anything to add?
Yeah, let me tell you something else. One of the good things that my employees that have been working with me, most of them have been there 18 years since I've started the city contract. So when the mayor and I started working on this thing and agreed to work out a deal with Pelican, I agreed to let them take my whole crew. And basically for the last 2 weeks, Pelican has been working this contract with me overseeing it for the next 30 days until the approval is done. But y'all probably won't even notice a changeover because they pretty much got my whole crew that's going with them and that's been doing it for the last 18 years. So they know the route, they know everything. And like I said, I don't believe any of y'all noticed in the last 2 weeks there's been a changeover, so that's been a good thing for the city. That it's not a new company starting all over from scratch, not knowing the operation, not understanding the way the city contract works. And so they agreed to pretty much keep all my employees, work it the same way with the same equipment. And I'll let Rowdy, who is with Pelican, kind of tell you a little bit about their company. But I'll enjoy working, but it's time for me to shut it down. And all I want to do is chase storms, which is about 3 months out the year, and the rest I'd like to travel. So that's pretty much how this came about. And I've sold over the last 5 years my landfill, then I sold my transfer station. So this was my last obligation. So with that kind of settled, I can kind of do what I want now and still be around and still handle the hurricanes. And you know, this year seems to be pretty crazy. I thought I would retire early, but if the storms keep on coming, I might be all over the place. But we'll wait and see what happens with this one. But I'm going to introduce you, Rowdy, with Pelican.
How you doing? I'm Roddy Matern with Pelican Waste and Debris. Just give you a little background on my history. I've been in the waste business for 35 years. 27 years with Sweetie, a company called Sweetie with the Colley family owned. This company right here, we started back in 2013, which myself and a couple of Colley family members. So I've been a long time in the business. I've been doing garden for 20 plus years. So we work closely with Gordon, and like Gordon said, it's going to be a smooth transition. He gave us his, blessed us with his employees, and we've actually buying some of his trucks. So hopefully we'll make this smooth transition. I looked at this as it's a short contract, and I did the same thing in Iberville Parish a couple of years ago, and I ended up with the whole thing. So I'm looking forward for the next 2 years and end up doing all of it for y'all. So we appreciate it.
Questions? Yeah. Councilman Lopez.
I like when you're calling Natalie. Reminds me how young
I never
I
know,
am.
man. I never know.
What about Lindsay?
Lindsay's staying with me.
Oh, I knew you were selfish.
She's my
That's the only one he wouldn't give up, and we wanted her.
She's my daytime wife, and Steffi's my nighttime wife.
We not put that on.
Yeah, oh, really?
No.
Moving on.
I'm not gonna be here in 2 years, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm gonna just speak for myself. I'm very disappointed in our current trash service. Extremely disappointed. They have no regular schedule. Last week they came at 11 in the morning. Today they were there at 5. And about, in my district, half of the cans are left on the ground. So that's a big problem. So I hope that the people who are here, which hopefully is everyone besides Dan, does research when it is time, if y'all want to come full on, to check with, council members of the parishes that they do currently have, because, that was a big deal when we switched with Allied and all that, and I don't know, I haven't been happy, so I look forward. If Gordon's vouching for you, I know
Natalie, one of the things.
he knows I can find him.
One of the things in 2 years that they can do different is they can go still automation garbage cans, but they can go with rear loaders. So at the time they picking the garbage can and dumping it in the rear loaders, they can pick up the garbage bags of leaves and grass clipping at the same time. So it's even going to speed up the process. As a package deal, they have a lot more to offer. So that might be something that'll be.
Yeah, I agree with him. I mean, look, if you're gonna pick up a contract, I mean, it's hard to do when you got 2 different companies doing the bulky waste
Nobody
and
knows what
anything
day is what.
outside. But when you're doing it with real loaders, look, everything's being automated now, but you still can't beat the 2 guys in the back of the truck. I mean, no matter what.
No.
If you're gonna go real load with 2 guys and have, an all-take contract pretty much, you should have the guys on the back of the truck doing the job. So that's just my opinion.
Well, set the
And like I
tone.
said, I've been doing this for 35 years. So I
Okay.
just kind of grew my beard to look like Gordon, so y'all wouldn't notice the difference.
Well, you better find you a Lindsay then.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Contact information, your first and, I didn't get your name, I heard Rowdy.
Roddy Matern.
Ronnie?
Roddy, R-O-D-D-I-E, Matern.
R-O-D-D-I-E, and
Yep.
do you have a contact information?
I don't have my cards with me. I left it in my truck, but I can get you all of that. But I can give you my cell number.
Okay, after the meeting, I'll
Okay.
take it, sir. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Those are right
Yeah,
now,
I was
huh?
gonna say.
Watch yourself.
He hadn't been voted in yet. Don't give out your cell number. Any further discussion? Questions? Comments?
One thing's nice. Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Now, I don't have to worry about people calling me to call Gordon. My job's a lot easier now.
All right. Any other comment? Then I would please ask you to vote your machines.
Somebody didn't vote.
Marlo?
What's that?
You gotta vote?
Oh, no, sir, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Councilman Lewis. Great, thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. And Jeff is working on a contract, so we'll get that straight. Good. 5J.
Resolution 2072, approving City of New Iberia municipal civil service salary structure where it reflects only the increase in range widths without affecting the minimum rates.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl and second by Councilwoman Guidry. Any discussion on this item? Yes, ma'am.
So Mayor, the current, wait a minute, we on I, sir?
We're on J.
We're on J. Okay, let me see.
That's some minor adjustments that we've made in some of
Okay,
the salaries.
I missed
We
it.
talked about it
Okay,
last time.
Never mind.
That's okay.
I had another question.
Yeah,
Never
no,
mind.
that's good. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Now we go to 5K.
Resolution 2073, approving a 2% general increase for municipal classified employees to become effective November 1st, 2020.
Do I have a motion? Motion, Councilman Broussard, second. Second. Councilman Swear. Any discussion on this item?
Mayor, and we already had this in our budget.
Yes.
That we adopted anyway.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing further? Please vote your machines. Thank y'all very much. Madam Clerk? Oh, before we start this, hang on, got a disclaimer. Before we start, District 5, we have 14 properties. District 5 didn't get a property this time, and it was a mistake. So we're gonna make an adjustment so that we get one from each, at least one from each district. So we have a list of 14. They didn't quite get broken down like I thought they would have. So one slipped to the bottom. You're going to see in your new packets from now on, we are going to, on every house we address in the future, we're going to put the district. Yeah, you didn't have any. Right, but you didn't turn any in. You didn't have any. Right. In the future, when we refer to a property, we're going to start putting what district it's in every time, and I think that will help. I think that's a good idea so that we will have this because this isn't going away. What I want y'all to know is we have the money, it's in the budget. We are going to be every meeting or every other meeting. As soon as the first batch is done, I want to bring new batches, but they'll have districts next to them. All right, Jimmy.
All right, here's the list of the first 7. The one that was missed was 314 St. Jude and 413 West Washington. That's in Sherry's district.
Right.
I'm going to address Dustin.
How you doing, man?
You're going to ask me about 118 Hortense.
Correct. Where's so 118?
According to the assessor's site,
It was, so it's not.
the address is 118 Hortense on that property.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, appreciate that.
All right, we're on 1517 Allen.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2074, declaring the building at address 1517 Adams Street in a dilapidated and dangerous condition and ordering the owner to show cause why it should not be repaired to conform with the building code or be condemned or ordered demolished and removed.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Broussard. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Guidry. Now we can have a discussion. Jimmy?
What district is
All
that?
right, I have the house on the screen.
District 3.
Who had the picture of the side of the house? Gotta be older now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's part of it. There's the 2 sheds in the back. There's a siding missing on the side.
Eric is good, very well.
Nope. All right, that's all the pictures I have of that.
Do we have any people, Mr. Mayor?
Is anyone here to represent this property?
To declare it a public hearing.
Oh, that's true. It's
On
public hearing
January
tonight. They'll
5th.
come next time after they get
Yeah.
the notice. You're right.
We have to send them notice.
You're right. They don't have notice yet.
Yeah.
We jumping the gun.
Once I get the legal people to notify from Jeff.
Correct.
We'll send them letters and we'll have a public hearing on January the 5th.
People
Broussard?
up and down the block, 8 or 9 different people want this house going, so if they can show up. If they can fix it, that's fine, but they better come That big hole on the side is not nice, and neighbors are talking about right there. We need some help. So I hope they show up. If not, going on the demolition list.
Okay. Any further discussion on this one? Then I'll ask you to please vote your machines.
To declare it for public hearing.
Yeah, to declare for public hearing. That's what we're doing.
Lopez.
Great. Let's go to the next one, Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2075, declaring the building at address 503 Bayard Street in a dilapidated and dangerous condition and ordering the owner to show cause why it should not be repaired to conform with the building code or be condemned and ordered demolished and removed.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Lewis. This house is in District 4. Jimmy?
Yep, you see the pictures. There's the back end, it's falling down. It's open through and through. Okay.
Any further discussion on this one? Then I would ask you to please vote your machines. Thank y'all very much. Madam Clerk, 5 in.
Resolution 2076, declaring the building at address 520 Cauldron Lane in a dilapidated and dangerous condition and ordering the owner to show cause why it should not be repaired to conform with the building code or be condemned and ordered demolished and removed.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilwoman Ledbetter, second. Councilman Swear. This home is also in District 4. Jimmy?
All right, there's the house, you see the holes in the roof. They tried packing the front, but they got holes in the roof. There's a storage shed in the back that's, I don't know, that's where the electrical service was, and it's pouring down in the house, another hole.
Jimmy, it looks like on that street, they have a trailer not far from there that they,
Went and did trailer park inspection today, and we're gonna get him to clean it up.
it looks like he started tearing it down.
Yeah.
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 Any comments? Yes, sir.
I think the city's gonna save some money, because I remember one time that whoever had this house was running an extension cord to the pavilion
Yeah.
at the ballpark to run their
Yeah, we stopped that.
power, so
They were.
good.
They were.
Yeah, this street, you know, I'm glad it's in the dangerous district, but it definitely needs to be cleaned up,
Oh, yeah,
especially
definitely.
with our public park we have right across the street.
Definitely.
So, thank you.
Anybody else?
We actually went, our neighborhood association, Western Neighborhood Association, we actually went over there and tried to lend a hand. I think it was an elderly, man, and
Yeah.
Mr. Bill Russell Nguyen, he's on our team.
That's not the same house.
That's not the same house?
It's
No.
a couple doors down, because I saw they.
Mr. Russell bought the house that the old man was living in,
Uh-huh.
and he's repairing it.
Yeah.
It's a brick home?
Yep, just, looks
It
just like
looks
that.
almost looks just like that.
Looks just like it.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Thank
it's
you,
the
Jim.
roof, that's messed up, but the brick look like it's in excellent condition in the slab, so, I mean, a whole new roof.
See the two
The
holes there?
inside- The inside's terrible.
It's been like that for
You have
years.
pictures of the inside? I'm just asking.
The house is locked, I can't even get in.
Oh,
But the inside's really deteriorated because they let the roof go so long.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I went and looked through the
sometime a
windows.
brick veneer house will look like it's still solid, then you get inside, it's full of mold and
Yeah.
rot, and you know, the weather just takes its toll. Once you get moisture in, it doesn't quit.
And
Yeah, I
from
did,
time to time, people have been, living in it.
Yes,
And,
with extension cords to the park.
It's just a danger right there, yeah. Hanging clothes on the,
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
the fence, and
Yep,
it's just been a thing in that neighborhood.
yep. Any further discussion? Then I would ask you please vote your machines. Thank y'all. 5-0.
Resolution 2077, declaring the building at address 118 Horton Street in a dilapidated and dangerous condition and ordering the owner to show cause why it should not be repaired to conform with the building code or be condemned and ordered demolished and removed.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Swear and a second by Councilman Guidry.
Okay, this is-
Jimmy, this one's in District 6.
Yeah, this is a trailer. And you can see it's falling apart.
Mm-hmm. Any discussion?
Needs to come down.
Okay, great. Well, then let's take the first step. I'll vote your machines.
That street's starting to have some empty lots in it.
Yeah. Thank you all very much. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2078, declaring the building at address 809 Mixon Street in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and ordering the owner to show cause why it should not be repaired to conform with the building code or be condemned and ordered demolished and removed.
Do I have a motion? Motion.
Second.
Councilman Lewis and Councilwoman Guidry. This is in District 2. Jimmy?
All right, the house has no siding on it. The front porch, the carport post is missing. And everything is exposed. No insulation, no electricity to the house, no water to the house.
Okay, thank you. Comments? Anything? Then I would ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2079, declaring the building at address 1104 Sish Street in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and ordering the owner to show cause why it should not be repaired to conform with the building code or be condemned and ordered demolished and removed.
Do I have a motion? Motion by
Second.
Councilman Lewis and Councilman Ledbetter. This is also in District 2. Jimmy?
Okay, the house is full of mold. Back door is open.
Didn't we share this one? We did. Any comments further? Then I would ask you to please vote your machines. So that's everybody? Great. Now we move on to 5R.
Wait, did you get a new camera? Those pictures are
Right.
nice.
No,
He just finally got out the truck. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I had to,
All
sorry.
right, do you want to do the one for
Yes.
314 and
Yes,
413?
I would like to do that
On
one.
Washington and St. Jude and Sheriff's District,
Yes.
okay?
All right, so,
Oh,
we'll-
wait.
You want to take it out of
Alright.
order?
yeah, you could do it
So
now.
this
You,
is-
since it's gonna be a demo, you could do
Okay.
it now.
Okay.
So, this will be a added resolution. Jeff, do I need a motion to amend to add the resolution, then I can do it?
Need a motion to expand.
That's what I meant, yeah. Okay, so can I get a motion to expand the agenda? We would be adding the houses that were forgotten.
Motion to expand the agenda.
Second that.
And did you say something to Mr. Broussard? I don't know who did it. Councilwoman Guidry had the motion. I don't know who had the second. Councilman Broussard. Great, so we'll be voting to expand the agenda. Please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Now, Madam Clerk, on the fly, give us a resolution.
This will be Resolution 2081, declaring the building at addresses 314 St. Jude Avenue and 413 West Washington in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and ordering the owner to show cause why it should be repaired to conform with the building code or be condemned and ordered demolished and removed.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Broussard. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Guidry. Jimmy?
All right, the house
This is in
430
District 5.
413 is, parts of it are falling down. The back porch over the door has fallen down.
No, it's terrible.
Oh, that's 314. It's all the property is the same. It's the same owner. One house is behind the other.
Correct.
So 314 is actually falling down.
Yeah, no, I see that. I wrote and looked at it. I heard it was falling down, and I went, and it's literally falling down.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, please vote your machines.
That's the next list, that's the discussion.
Thank you. Now we move on to 5R.
Resolution 2080, granting approval for the division of property located at 109 North Landry Drive, belonging to Faye Boudreaux, into 2 lots identified as Lot 28A and Lot 29A.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second? Councilwoman Ledbetter. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Now we move on to 6A.
Introduction of special ordinance number 2019-2020-14, amending the budget to adjust within 5% and to set for public hearing on October 20th, 2020.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis. Do I have a second?
Second.
I think Councilman Broussard got that one. Is there any discussion on this item?
They,
Sir.
Mayor, it's 6A.
There's one
I don't have.
Hmm?
My 6A is about a zoning.
Yeah, for the code of,
No?
No, 6A should have been.
We can look.
oh, that's 6B, never mind.
My 6A is something different.
Flip backwards, Dan. No, go back in the packet. I think they just got mixed up when they got copied.
Yeah, look, because mine has a correction on it.
No, they must have gotten mixed up in the copy.
Okay. No problem. I just like a big
Well, no, we got to find it.
Should be in here.
And this is by far the biggest packet the city council that I've ever had, for sure.
No, I just like to make notes because when I go to a radio show, I don't feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry about that.
No, it's good.
So basically, Mayor, it's 109 North Landry Drive. I believe that's in my district. So Miss Jane, what exactly they
That's
just
what
want
I
to
was
do in a
gonna do.
nutshell?
Did we vote on this yet?
We didn't.
We gotta vote on this.
It's mixed up.
Yeah, that's the next step.
Six-
We vote on
6A
this.
is not right in the packet.
Oh, okay.
It copied
My
wrong.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry again.
So it's, I believe it's skipped over in the packet. If
Okay,
y'all need, I can
sorry.
make copies.
Oh, no, no.
Okay.
That's good. We got
Okay,
it.
so
Thank you.
no one has 6.
No one has 6A in their packet,
I
but
have
it's on the agenda.
Right, right.
Yeah, so it's right on the agenda. It just
Mayor.
skipped in
Okay,
the
and this
copier.
is, let me just explain
Yeah, that's
6A. 6A is just for Kevin, and all that does is, because of our audits, one of the requirements is that we have to be within 5% at this last month. So all this is to say that Kevin's making adjustments in the budget so that we will be within 5% of what we said we were gonna be at.
For each department.
Yes, right,
Right.
Kevin?
That's just to close out October.
That's to close
right?
out the year.
Yeah, okay.
Every year we do it in October, so that when we start our November budget, we can certify that we were within our budget. So I'm sorry that there's confusion that it's not in the packet, but it's not really something that, we wouldn't put all the work in the packet, it would just be an explanation.
Thank
So
you.
the, so
Thank
the
you.
property thing is 6B.
Yes,
That's
yes,
what we changed the order to.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's
so-
in the packet as 6D.
Okay, so 6D is how it's in, okay.
It's how it's in your packet.
All right, so it's in your packet at 6D, so if anybody wants to stop and look at it, that's my explanation, but you're welcome to look at it before we vote.
Mayor, I just got a question.
Sure.
Okay, so we do this because by law, we have to be within that 5%.
Yes, our budget
Okay.
needs to be within 5%.
And does it change the outcome of our budget anyway in dollars?
No,
or-
sir.
Or no?
No, because we make those adjustments and we hold our department heads to be within the 5%. So they make the 5%. I guess you could have a budget amendment if you didn't, but so far, we've made our adjustments.
And it's always done in October?
Yes, because we start the new budget November 1.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Sure.
Sorry about all that.
And it's stressful because a lot of people are trying to spend the money in their budget at the end
Yeah.
of the budget year, and it's very stressful that, we always kind of tell people, one vein of thought, you're being responsible, so you wait till the end so that you don't overspend. In another way, boy, it's a cram at the end to get it all done and keep it balanced. But anyway, comes with the job. That's the water we swim in. Anybody else? Then please vote your machines. Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk.
Right.
7A.
Adoption of ordinance number 2020-2021-01, adopting a budget for the city of New Iberia for the fiscal year ending October 31st, 2021.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Broussard and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Any discussion? Then I'll ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. 7B. Here we go.
Adoption of ordinance 2016, a planning and zoning recommendation that refers to general ordinance number 304 of the city of New Iberia relative to the city of New Iberia Code of Ordinances, Appendix A zoning, Article 3, Schedule of District Regulation, adopted relative to Appendix A zoning, Article 3, Schedule of District Regulations.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilman Swear. Any discussion on this item?
Yeah, this is,
Yes, sir. Our city attorney.
so, yeah. So the motion, now this is the Week Street.
Jane, come on up.
Yeah, I just need to clarify. So the request was brought before the Planning and Zoning Department to rezone property at 602 Week Street from the existing R2 to C3. And the commission took into consideration several things that were brought to their attention. The property owner, Mr. Willis, started his business on the vacant lot at this location prior to obtaining an occupational license or getting a permit to lay a slab. So the business ensued, and then it was brought before the zoning commission as a request to rezone the property. The C3 zoning would have been appropriate for the type business that he was doing at that location. And it was the reselling of products, laundry, detergent in different sizes. So there was a lot of discussion that went on at that meeting. The commission took a lot of time to understand the request and everything involved. There were some photographs that were submitted. I think they're in your packet of one-time occurrence, which I understand from the property owner. There was an 18-wheeler parked at that location offloading the product. So the commission members were concerned about that photograph because the fire station is located right across the street. So all taken into consideration, the commission's decision was to deny this request. So your decision would be either to uphold the denial or to overturn that denial.
Yes, Jeff.
And the way the resolution is, for the ordinances in the packet, it's to deny.
Right. A yes vote denies.
So we just need to be clear on what the motion is. Is the motion to deny or is the motion
Yes,
to
it means
approve?
no.
Yes means no.
The business owner's here. Is it appropriate to hear from him?
If you want to hear from him, yeah.
Mr. Willis?
Yes. Hi, my name is Ryan Willis, 1992 graduate of New Iberia Senior High. Retired 2 years ago after 26 years in the military after leaving New Iberia. After I left New Iberia, after I retired, I was trying to see what I was actually going to do, disabled vet, 100%. I bought a restaurant in New Orleans, getting ready to open up a cleaning warehouse in New Orleans as well. However, I'm from New Iberia, got property in New Iberia. Started doing a test on some fundraising detergent, so it's not actually a business at all yet, it's a concept. some fundraisers at the church. I do a lot of donations to church, help some schools in Hammond, Louisiana. I do some things in Columbus, Georgia, and also in Alabama outside of Fort Benning. My idea was my mother has a church here, Pastor Thompson. I was going to do some fundraising for her church and also some local schools and any organization to bring some funds in within the community, especially depending, with the current environment. So I never technically started a business here. No profit is involved. I'm kind of reselling, kind of online through marketplace, garage sale, flea market type deal, just kind of see what the actual demand is. I have a license for Louisiana. Like I said, I got a Bourbon Square restaurant in New Orleans I've been having for over a year and a half now. So I just was like testing a template. So I was actually getting some of the products myself, kind of resell through like buy, trade, and swap type sites. And I was looking to expand it versus doing it in New Orleans to have it, bring it here to New Iberia on my lot, right outside my mother's property. So I was asking through the permit office for clarification of my left and right limits on what I can and cannot do. Been having that lot, no home is on it, so I got a building I paid for to get put on there, which I was going to kind of have most of the products in. I talked to the young lady in the business office on the home occupational license and my different options on it. So I just wanted to know, what I need to do to move it forward. I think it was an assumption made on, he got a business running right there, when really I had some products I was kind of downloading there, taking with me to Alabama and Georgia, and I wish it was kind of really directed to me that I could have provided, documents or whatever needed to be seen with it versus having an assumption on. I just had an operation on. I have no sign up there. I have no advertisement that you can find or see that I got a business come over here and buy these products at all. I do strictly just kind of person-to-person buy, trail, trade and swap like a garage sale, flea market style. And I was just running it as a test because I got a master's degree in business, and I was just running a test on it, and that's all I was doing. The 18-wheeler downloaded a couple items one time. It was parked on the right side, and I understand that I was asking what's my limits in that, and I decided to not have an 18-wheeler come at all, or I can do it in a U-Haul trailer or some small products. So I just was looking for some guidance on what I can and cannot do. So anything that was a violation by interpretation, I just never had clarity on.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question, Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing about it.
Oh, Jane.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Jane mentioned that they had a slab poured and a structure starting to. Was that on this location or the empty lot he talked about?
The empty lot.
Now, the empty lot that he has a slab and a part of a structure on it.
There's no structure yet.
Now,
That's
so
what I'm trying to get
is
a permit
that
for.
is that where he's trying to run his business? So the denial is that lot or where the house is?
Both.
So it's two different
Yeah, they're
properties.
currently zoned R2.
Uh-huh.
Across the street is C3, so it would be contiguous. Another concern was what all C3 permits. There are a number of different businesses that say, this business that he proposes closes for some reason, then there's a whole wide
Right.
gambit of other types of businesses that could locate there as well.
So he came to your office to change the zoning to do the business?
Yeah, well, the
Right.
business, yeah, the change of zoning would have allowed him to do the
Right.
business there.
But he came after Jimmy must have found him doing some business without the right permit?
I believe he went to the permit office first,
Oh.
and then he
Building.
was,
I went to the permit office to get, I paid my down payment on the metal building. I went to the permit office to get the permit for to come through the building.
Right. And then it just triggered that his zoning wasn't right. Because
Right.
you can be a nonprofit or you can be
Oh,
doing
that's
something
right.
as a test and it's still commercial activity.
Right.
That's,
And that it was not a house on a lot, it was an automatic that needs to be commercial for me to put a building up. Whether it
Understand.
was for anything, whether a workshop or anything, had
Right.
to be commercial to just put a building on the thing.
understand.
Correct.
So I found that out and was asking, okay, what's my next step?
Understand.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Russo.
That's in my district. The biggest thing I think the zoning was looking at is very serious between us and the zoning and everybody concerned about making moves at your location. I've stopped other places, they can tell you that I'm very strict
Correct.
on changing our zoning because you can open up and you close up, the thing is zoned for bar or anything forever. So that's what they were worried about, if something happens, but the deal is it changed the zoning, and we're very serious about changing it from a residential, you're in a residential area. So in a big way, we take a lot of interest in backing our zoning people that take a lot of, they talked a lot about it at the zoning meeting, a long time. It was a very hard decision, to go, but the main thing they were looking at was changing that zoning from residential to commercial. And I stopped 2 or 3 places from doing that in our, not far from your place. But that's the whole thing, we back in our zoning for is doing the homework.
So can I say one thing? It's only a
Yeah, but there's no back and forth. I'll let you.
It's not a building, it's a 3-big garage, which is gonna be a
Sir.
garage for a mother's house.
But it's still rezoned.
I know.
Okay, I'm not just thinking about the building.
Right.
being
No.
outdoors.
No more back and forth.
But I made my
We-
statement, that's why.
That's not how we run our
I
meeting.
y'all so hard, was that you zoning it to another, to commercial, and it stays that way. You could sell that whole piece to somebody else, they could open a bar and we couldn't tell them any different, So to protect the neighborhood, residential, and keep it residential, that's what the zoning was looking at so hard.
Any
But
further?
That's my understanding.
I think this is some council discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. Any more discussion from the council?
Well, so the 2 lots, I just want to make sure I'm right on it. It's 2 separate lots.
Yes.
He could maybe change one lot without the other. And could he get? I'm just throwing it out here because I don't know the procedure of what y'all looked at. An empty lot, can an empty lot get a special use permit for a business? Or it has to be a structure on a lot to get a special use permit?
Well, it's always been that a special use conditional use permit goes to property that has a structure on it, that's lost its non-conforming use in order to get it back into the active commercial business, even though it's lost its grandfathered. But we've never, I don't think that we've ever done a vacant lot.
Now, another question is, he poured the slab, not yet? Now, did the slab meet the requirements of the city?
It's a parking slab. It's just 4 inches, 3.5 inches thick.
I'm just,
Yeah.
a permit was made for the slab,
For parking,
and it has been accepted?
yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to work this through, man.
There's no floor.
Yeah, I understand. No, that's why you got to ask your questions. Yes, sir.
So there's no plans of like any other thing going on top of that slab? No canopy?
When he
no-
came for the building permit, that's when
So he did plan on putting a
I had to stop it.
building in with a 4-inch slab?
I had to stop it because the building in the zone, that's why I sent him to jail.
Right. Right.
All right.
Anybody else have any discussion? Yes, sir.
Just a little confused. So they got a slab, and it's next door to the home, and they want to put a building on it, so they can do what he said that they want to do, right?
Yeah.
And the neighbors are saying, well, he's running a business, he shouldn't run a business, or whatever the case is.
Well, the neighbors, there were neighbors that questioned what was going on and what was gonna happen, and, no one appeared at the meeting in opposition. So there were some phone calls, there was, some questions about what the business was and what was taking place there.
But it's
Because they knew that it was zone residential, so they didn't,
That's the
know
issue.
what was coming.
Yeah. The issue is more that it's zone residential, and
Well, another question, I saw you had a list of names attached to that, people's name and addresses.
Okay, those were the adjacent property owners that received notification
But-
about the zoning change, and we posted signs on the property.
But that doesn't mean they oppose it
Oh,
or
no,
are
no,
for it.
no, those were the
That's just
people that
ones
were
we got.
contacted,
Now-
that we reached out to.
Okay, so he has no, or y'all board has no really feel of how the neighbors feel. Because he didn't
Well,
go.
sure.
Huh?
Sure, I mean, public notices went
Yeah.
out, letters were sent, two zoning signs were posted.
Yeah, I've seen
On
the sign.
each.
But did
So-
anybody send a letter either for or against that? y'all?
I mean, there were some phone calls, but, no one appeared at the meeting in opposition to it. There
Because
was some,
sometime I know you give us paperwork to show
right,
that these people wrote was against it or whatever.
yeah,
I didn't see none of
get
that in
any,
here.
any formal
Okay.
request.
I got you.
But again, the biggest problem we have in the zoning, saw that too, was moving from residential to commercial. If it was special use, no problem. I go with every special use that we ever had above here was special use. It didn't change the zoning, but you have to watch it's forever. Like Jimmy says, once you change it, it's forever. Could be a bar, could be anything in there, commercial. So in a big way, there's a difference between special use and rezoning some property.
Fred, I wasn't, you was explaining the issue to me so I can really understand. What is the issue? I didn't get the.
Well, the issue is that it's residential,
Mhm.
and whether it's volunteer, whether it's whatever, it's commercial activity happening on that property, and it's not zoned for it. Because it doesn't matter if trucks are coming and he's using detergent and he's doing stuff, even if it's just like a little test, it's still commercial activity in a residential area that's zoned residential. It's not zoned commercial.
I guess my question is, are they trying to get the zone changed, or are they trying to find a way
Yeah,
to do business?
They asking for.
They were
Because
asking-
maybe they don't know they may have had an opportunity to do a special use, like Dan was saying. Seemed like they were.
Maybe, but
Seemed like
and
they
I'm
were-
not saying yes and no, but not the problem, but the issue with special use is we've never done a special use for an empty lot.
But can we? Because what I'm saying
That
is,
might be the $1,000,000 question.
Seems like they were, and I don't mean to be ugly on there like that.
No,
Seems
we're not.
like they
We're
were
just talking.
led to the hardest part of the challenge, which was changing the zone.
And the board denied.
But that's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
but maybe they'd have been led into special use and let them find that. Then we'll work it out because it's not going to be turned into a bar.
We don't know.
No, I mean, you're not going to change the ordinance, though. You're not going to change the ordinance, so it's not going to be turned into a bar. Is what I'm saying. Because you're not going to change the ordinance.
No, if you let it go to commercial, then it could be a variety of things.
Right, but you're
Whole
not going to do that.
cookbook.
You're just trying to, because what he's doing seems like it's temporary.
But he can't even build a
Everybody's
building
got
on
their
empty
hands
lot.
up.
You can't build a building on an empty lot?
Not a commercial building if it's not commercial.
Okay,
That's the
all right.
problem.
So
in
the
other
building
words,
he's building
you
is
can say, I'm
commercial.
going to let you do this, but if the root zone is not right, even if you say it's a conditional use thing, until you change the zoning, you can't put the building out.
You can't put a commercial.
It's a 3-bed garage. That's all it is. A 3-bed
I know, but
garage
still,
really
it's still commercial. Jeff?
But what's before the council is, do you change the zoning
That's just
from residential to commercial?
Right.
Yeah, we got to vote on that before we do anything.
What
Right.
we have here tonight. If there are other ways to skin the cat,
There might be, but
then y'all work on that.
Right.
But tonight, we have a vote from the Planning and Zoning Commission that says no, and the idea is you're gonna uphold it or not uphold it.
No, I agree with that.
we had some other hands up. Thank you, Jeff. Yes, ma'am.
I think Dustin was first. Okay. The other thing is, Mr. Jimmy, you said something about, he went and applied for, a permit, correct?
First, they used it for a driveway or a parking area, and the slab is only 4 inches thick.
Yes,
There's
sir.
nothing structural underneath it. So if he puts up a building, he's gonna have to put some structure in the ground to support that structure, that building.
Right, but I'm.
As long as he was
talking
doing
about
the parking area,
process.
I had no reason not to give him a permit because it was residential.
Just
So-
parking for a house.
Right.
Right, and that's what I'm getting to, the process and how that was done.
Then when he
Because
came
that's-
in, when he
okay,
came in for
this
the
is my
building.
question, sir, this is my question. My question is, when he came in, what did he tell you he needed a permit for?
For a structure.
For a
Okay.
structure.
Right now, we got 2 lots.
Yes, sir.
You cannot build a storage structure on an empty lot unless, in a residential district, unless it's accessory to the house.
Okay.
Okay? We got two separate lots. Got the house on one lot, and the parking area on the other lot. So he can't build a garage on that lot. Because there's no house there. It's not an accessory structure to go with a house.
And he didn't come and say, I need this slab because I want to start me a business.
No, I didn't. First it was a basketball court.
Okay,
They did it in sections.
okay.
They were playing basketball on it. I guess he was still in the service at the time.
That was like 5 to 7 years ago. When
Yeah, but that was the first section.
But it sounds like you're saying like I just
No.
was playing basketball. I got 3 permits for concrete since the basketball court
Yeah.
with your office.
Yeah, he gave us
And my next
Right.
permit was for the building, and I said, what do I need to do?
We
Right.
paid for
And
that.
it was
That's why
like,
we
it
had
needs to be
that.
commercial to get the business. I went to talk to Ms. Jane. I'm just asking, what do I need to do? And I paid for it and try to figure out what's my next step.
Understand, but y'all gotta let us do our thing. It's about the motion on the floor, and I've given you your time to speak. Y'all need to stop. No ma'am, no more. We normally don't let anybody, you have spoken, no more back and
But
forth.
I
That's-
didn't speak in
Well, that's not how we, it's on this issue. That's how we run our meeting.
That's my home.
Y'all understand?
I have said.
Any more discussion from the council?
So since it's Mr. Broussard's district, what's your recommendation, Mr. Broussard? That's my question. That's my last question.
I'm going with the zoning.
I got others, but we're gonna just see.
The zoning board, there, we vote yes, it's upstands though, what they said. No. And I'm only voting no because I'm not gonna change the zoning. Change the zoning. It's residential, leave it residential. The people over there, the residents around that block, like residents only. So my biggest thing about changing zoning, if it was anything else, I might have considered. But the zoning board worked hard on this. I'm gonna have to back what they say. So that's my decision on this.
Is there any further discussion?
One more question.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
The actual neighbors, that's in that vicinity, I know we talked about, there was a list, Ms. Jane, but again, just for the record, anybody opposed, this actual
With that, there were conversations that took place.
Yes, ma'am.
No one formally sent an email or a letter to me in the folder
Okay,
opposed.
thank you, ma'am.
Any further discussion? So the only thing that we can vote on tonight, regardless of all the discussion, the only thing we're voting on is do we uphold planning and zoning's decision? Not saying it closes the door, not saying that there might not be some other options, but legally, we can only vote on what's on our agenda. So everybody understand, if you vote yes, you are upholding the no vote. You are saying they can't, planning and zoning said it can't switch to commercial, and you're saying it can't switch to commercial. That doesn't mean that somebody can't do something different later, but for right now, we have to vote on what's in front of us. So everybody's cool? All right, then I ask you to please vote your machines. Okay, motion carries. Thank y'all. Not saying there's not another option, but we can only vote on what's in front of us. Madam Clerk.
7C, adoption of ordinance 2017, a planning and zoning recommendation that refers to general ordinance number 304 of the City of New Iberia relative to City of New Iberia Code of Ordinances, Appendix A zoning, Article 3, Schedule of District Regulations, Section 3.504, Area Regulations, Lot Area Per Family, R3, Residential District, 3.502 Area Regulations relative to side yard setbacks in 109 North Landry Drive on property belonging to Faye Boudreaux.
Do I have a motion? Motion, Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second? Mayor Pro Tem, any discussion on this item? Seeing, hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Item 7D.
David Broussard and Marlon Lewis.
Oh wait, y'all didn't vote? Excuse me. Vote your machines. Thank you. No, that's fine. I understand. Thank y'all. Item 7D.
Adoption of ordinance 20-18, a planning and zoning recommendation that refers to general ordinance number 304 of the City of New Iberia relative to City of New Iberia Code of Ordinances, Appendix A, zoning, Article 3, Schedule of District Regulations, Section 3.504, Area Regulations, Lot Area Per Family, R3, Residential District 3.502, Area Regulations relative to Lot 28A and Lot 28 and 29A, 109 North Landry Drive, belonging to Faye Boudreaux.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Lewis. Is there any discussion on this item?
And just so we clear, excuse me, Mayor,
Sure.
what we, in a nutshell, Miss Jane, what is this? I kinda have an idea, but just to put it on record.
This has to do with the re-subdivision that you approved earlier.
Right.
So 2 existing structures that are, houses that have been there forever, on one lot. The owner wanted to subdivide because she has a sale fit 1. Well, then that created, need for a side yard setback and also lot size variance.
Anybody else? Please vote your machines. Thank y'all. All right. 8A.
Presentation by Kevin Zurang, City Treasurer, of the year-to-date budget to actual comparison as of June 30th, 2020.
Evening, everyone. So I know we listed them as 3. Do we need to go through each one, or can we go through the last one? We can go through the last one? Okay. Before we do that, do you have any questions on the first 2? I'll take the silence as no. All right, for the month of August, that's 10 months into the 12-month period. We should be at 83% of the budget. General fund revenue budget at 22.5 million. We're at 20.6 million. We're at 91.23%. Expenses 22.6. Actual 17.3. We're at 76.33%. Parks and Rec revenue. Parks and Recreation revenue, 1.9 million, actuals 1.3, we're at 65.31% of revenue. Expenses, 1.9, actuals 900,000, we're at 45.6%. And that's because of capital outlay projects that we're holding off until the end of the year. Public Works revenue, 3 million, year to date 2.6. We're at 88.32%. Expenses 3.0. Expenses, actuals 1.8. We're at 58.31. Sales tax fund budgeted at 8.8. We're at 7.4, leaving us at 84% of the budget. Transfers out or expenses 9.3, year to date 7.7, leaving us at 83.02. Public Safety Fund, revenue of 3.4, actuals 2.8, leaving us at 84.15. Expenses of distributions and transfers out 3.4, actuals 2.8, leaving us at 83.26. Garbage Fund, revenue of 5.2, actuals 4.2, leaving us at 80.67%. Expenses, 5 million, actuals 4.2, leaving us at 83.29. Section 8, revenue of 1.4, actuals 1.2, leaving us at 97. Expenses, 1.4. Actuals, 1.2, leaving us at 83.03%. Wastewater, revenue of 7.1. Actuals of 6.1, leaving us at 85.04%. Expenses of 6.3. Actuals 4.5, leaving us at 71.67. Do we have any questions? To elaborate on the 5%, what you're seeing here is after adjustments I have made for revenue. That this is with adjustments. Basically, the 5% is to make those adjustments that I'm making actual part of the budget now.
So
No.
I've got a question here.
Sure.
So the budget that we adopted, so it changes to this, so we're gonna get the budget in another,
No, this is, we adopted the new budget. The new
Right.
budget stays like it is. This is just working through the old budget and giving you the presentation that
5%.
shows you that we're meeting the old budget.
okay,
So this all goes away when we adopt the new budget and we
Okay.
start with the new money in November. But this is kind of housekeeping, and this is to show you and to show everybody that we are bringing it forward and we are meeting our budget.
This is a requirement by the state,
by the
the
state of
legislative
Louisiana.
auditors requires that we present it to y'all.
so basically it's transferring into the new one.
No,
From
it's
old
just,
to
it's
new.
just grading your papers. It's grading your
Right.
papers of how we spent the money. Look at it that way.
Okay.
We are looking at it that we met the budget and that we spent the money in the correct manner within the 5%, within the totals. And then all that goes away and we start our new budget. And then next October, we'll be talking about that budget the same way. Cool.
Thank you.
Sure. All right, Kevin, move on to the next.
Thank y'all.
You
No,
did
he
all
went-
three in
he went
one.
through all three.
That's what I thought. I mean, yeah, go. Next, I meant next, number 9. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right, 9A, condemnation inspection report at 720 Abear Street, New Iberia, Louisiana, 70560.
Jimmy, these are for
All right.
discussion, so I don't need a motion.
These are the next 6 that are gonna come up for demolition after we finish the first 7. Up at 720 Abear. That's, is that your district? Oh, that's it. This is just discussion.
Right, no, I know, I know.
Yeah, that's a trailer. The roof, if you notice, it stops about halfway down the trailer. So I don't know what the inside looks like.
Yeah.
But, that's,
Yeah, I talked to
Yeah.
Mr. Lord, he said she gonna tear it down.
okay.
I talked to her Monday.
That's your district?
Yeah, yeah.
She's gonna tear it down.
All right, the next one is 1004 Park.
All right. All right. No, this is just discussion that when we finish the first batch that we spent our time on, that's gonna be the second batch that's coming. So we just have them for discussion now. When Jeff returns those and we start contacting people, then we'll move on to this list.
We're not fixing them for hearing yet.
No,
No.
no. All we're doing
This
is
is just
discussing. It's
discussion.
just to show that that's what's
I
coming.
took the pictures to show them
Yeah.
So the hearing is gonna be in January, is what we're saying?
on the first
No,
7.
on the first ones.
On the first.
Because we
so
give our
when's the
public
hearing
notice
gonna be set?
after those. In other words, all we're doing right now is saying we put 7 in the pipeline.
I'm just asking.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it's okay to ask.
Oh yeah, we put,
Yeah.
of course it is. We
I
put
mean,
7 in the
I'm one
pipeline.
that they beat up all the time about them, so I'm just asking.
I understand. We put these 7 in the first 7 in the pipeline. We're gonna condemn, or the people are gonna fix those. We're gonna head down that road. We're gonna send out the public notices. We're gonna work the system like we do. When those are done, we bring in these. When we bring these, we bring in another 7 for discussion. So the new way of doing it is we let our city attorney do his job. When we get those, and Jimmy, when we get those back, then we load the gun with the next 7.
So we're just gonna keep it rolling.
That's what I would like to do. Yes, sir.
It's like the movie theater where it says coming soon.
Yep, that's exactly right.
So if you have people fussing at you, you can say, it's in
It's
the
coming.
process.
The other thing too, if people see it, maybe they'll fix it. You know, in other words, by having an early discussion, if they see it, maybe they'll feel like, okay, I'm gonna have to tear it down, or the city's gonna tear it down and add it to my taxes. Maybe I could go fix it. So I don't think we hurt anything by saying, here's the next 7. When those come up, we're gonna bring 7 more. It's kind of a new way to do it, but it might spur people to fix their properties.
And that's what you say, basically an early discussion.
That's right. That's all this is just give them some notice that it's coming.
The next one is 1204 Park. Now, when I went out to take this picture, there was a young man there, the son of the owner, and he said they were probably going to demolish it. So hopefully it'll be done before January and I can take it off the list.
Yeah, they asked me about that in the store.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
711 West Persian. Sherry, that's your district. That's a house that burnt. Nothing's ever been done to it. Then there's 1030 Providence, Mr. Broussard.
Yep.
Somebody put a bunch of lumber inside. I don't know. The roof's in bad shape.
That's the one right at it. Looks good in the front
See
of
that?
it.
That's the back door.
The back's all.
Somebody put a bunch of tree limbs and
A bunch of
Doesn't
neighbors,
start a fire.
I don't know what it is. I hope it don't catch fire.
but, I hope we do something with this one.
The next one is in, I think that's Sherry's district, 315 St. Jude. That was it.
Now, there's another structure on that property, yeah?
On St. Jude,
Yeah, there's
315?
413.
No. That's the one we moved.
Okay.
We moved that one.
So we're resoluting one and we're actually discussing one.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And like I said, it's kind of a new way to do it, but I think if we keep loading them up, it's going to work. Yes, sir.
1104, 1104 or 1104.
That was in the first
That
batch.
was in the first batch.
Yes.
Was that early review or those are actually?
No.
No.
That's to send it to public hearing,
Those go to public hearing.
Okay.
to be condemned.
Gotcha.
Great. Thank you, Jimmy.
Okay.
All right, now we move on to Councilman's remarks, and I'll start with Councilman Lewis.
First of all, I want to give my condolences to the family of Miss Janice Barrett. I know she was a city employee. She also was a soldier in our community. She volunteered for everybody's wedding, everybody's birthday party. We did Cuts for Kids last weekend, and Miss Janice and I were the last 2 people. Her and Mr. Wallace Ozan, we were the last 2 people standing cleaning up. You know, and it was heartbreaking for me to find out that happens. You know, but you know, I understand it to be life. You know, but man, it's gonna be some big shoes to fill, man. I'm not a religious person, but I was reading in the Bible, man, 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, and it helped me to deal with loss of a loved one, you know, and if anybody, you know, has never read that or looked at that, it'll help, you know, but she's gonna be missed, and I just hope y'all keep that family in y'all prayers.
Thank you.
We just learned that we lost one of our old local governors, Mr. Foster. A lot of these governors, people don't understand, they help the communities a lot. Send money down to help us. He was a local fella. He got a lot done for the 4-lane, get some overpasses built, save lives. So we gotta look back on some people that did something. And talking about losing, is it a rumor or something, Mr. Mayor? We don't want to lose anything, but the Coca-Cola plant, is it moving to Lafayette, or is that just a rumor? We
yes.
hope we can refill that building.
It is moving.
Okay, we losing, that's a big loss.
I mean, some employees will be here, but their
Good.
offices consolidating with the Lafayette
Well,
office.
I'm just hearing that. I hope we can replace something there and not have some more white elephants
Yes, sir.
to fill up, but let's all say a prayer for our governor, past governor, Mr. Foster.
Thank you. Dan?
Well, it looks like we might get another hit on a hurricane, and it looks like it's our time. It went to the west, it went to the east, the last two. Now I don't think, hate to say it, but one thing that's very important, no matter how much drainage we do in this city, if we don't make sure those streets are clean, or if you have branches out there, this is the time to remove them before the weather comes. Because if those branches or bags of leaves start going down the street and blocking drainage, it affects a lot more people than just your house. And I think we got time now with the way the weathermen can give us information so long in advance of it. It just looks like we need to make sure we buckle down and take care of our yards, even garbage cans, bring them in, because I just got this feeling that this one is for us. I hope not.
I hope you're wrong.
But it just looks like when you start saying Vermilion Bay and it's not even in the Gulf of Mexico, it gets you kind of nervous. So
Yep.
I just wish that, I pray that it doesn't come this way, but it's going to happen this coming weekend. And just pray for everybody and hope everybody stays safe.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peter?
I would like to say thank you to Councilwoman Lopez and also to Attorney Alicia Butler and a host of other volunteers who took it upon themselves to have a project to clean and cut the grass in St. Matthew Cemetery and St. Paul Cemetery. I do have a lot of relatives there. My husband does too. And of course, it's that time of the year where you go and check to see what's going on there, to getting it ready for All Saints Day. And it was just nice to see a whole lot of people working, to do something good for the community. Half of the people, well, all of the people, I'll say, who used to do that particular job, keeping the cemetery up, they're there. And it's really sad that the younger generation hasn't, nobody has stepped up to take that over. So volunteers are needed in order to keep the cemetery up. And I just want to tell them thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to echo with Miss Councilwoman Ledbetter said. I was able to send some water there for the actual laborers and those that were cutting the grass and using the cane knife and all those things. So we were able to send some supplies there on the hill to St. Matthew and St. Paul Cemetery. So again, thank you to the Alicia Butler campaign for stepping in, and also the community stepping up to the plate, because that's the community at its best. My deepest condolences goes out to the family, the Barado family as well. Ms. Janice was actually at our 2016 inauguration when we all got elected in 2016, because I have a picture with her. She jumped in my picture, and we hugged, and we all took a picture. So I was looking for that picture early this morning after prayer. I've been getting a lot of calls about the gun violence that's going on in our town, Mayor. And with some of my reading, I'm always looking up different versions of community policing. There's different techniques and different methodologies you can go about talking about community policing. But one of the things, when you look at it, no matter how you describe community policing, it has 3 P's in it. It has people, that's you and me. It has policies and procedures, and it also has process. And one of those things that concerns me is the actual process, meaning we have criminals that are jailed by our police department, and our police department is doing a great job, and then they're back on the street, and so it's almost like a recycled crime or recycled criminals. So, Mayor, I'll yield back shortly just so maybe you can give us, and I hate to put you on the spot, but give us a small synopsis or brief idea on what's going on a little bit with the gun violence in our city, or you have anything that you wanted to add to that, because I've gotten a lot of calls.
Well, we've had
a lot of calls and screaming.
No, I'll be glad to. We've had 15 shootings this year and 7 homicides. Okay? Many of those shootings are exactly that. People that we picked up that were engaged in gun violence, and they were put in jail, and then their bonds were reduced and they were let out. And we have many of our shootings that are one of two things. Either the person that gets out is being retaliated against and they're shot, or the person that gets out retaliates on someone else that put them in jail or that they had a beef with before. So many of our shootings are happening because we are picking people up for these crimes and they're being released again. So that is part of our problem. Community policing is a word that is thrown around. We built a police department on community policing, but community policing has to include the community.
That's right.
So when you see somebody load, I don't mean to be flippant about it, it's a very serious issue. When you see somebody loading up an AR-15 or some other assault rifle and they put in their car, somebody needs to say something. Somebody needs to call someone. We have Crime Stoppers that is totally anonymous. You can call the police department. You can put something on the city's or the police's Facebook. You can find ways to reach us, and community has to be part of that. We do get a lot of response from the community. We could not solve the number of shootings we have solved, the number of homicides we have solved, if the community wasn't talking to us, if there wasn't a level of trust. But what's happening is, the game is shifted. I'll just tell you the truth. We've been having extra patrols. We've been authorizing overtime. We've been putting people in areas where shootings are happening. Next thing, they shooting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can't stop that. If I want to go to your house and shoot you, it's not something that the police, it's not associated with a crime. It's not associated with anything else. They're just driving to your house or waiting for you and shooting you. That's not something that any amount of police presence can stop, because we've been trying it. One of our shootings was like 2 minutes after a police car passed. We had another one that they responded to and got there in less than a minute. You know why? Because they were around the block. So what's happening is we have coverage, we're in the neighborhoods, we're working through the districts, but these things are still happening. Do I think that we should sit back and do nothing? No. The chief and I spend every day with the rest of the administration talking about this, trying new things. We're not going to just sit back. I'll tell you somebody brought it up today. I don't know, this has been a very long meeting. I don't know who brought it up. I'm going to let a cat out of the bag a little bit. We are trying to get cameras. We have some issues of legal issues to get the cameras. I probably worked on that all day today. We are working through that. Some communities in Acadiana have cameras. We have some legal issues to work through simply because we don't own any utility pole in the city of New Iberia. I have to hang the cameras on something, okay? I can't just juggle them. But we are working on that. We realize that could be a key to solving crime and to deterring crimes. So, we're not giving up on our city. We got a great city. We do have some issues, and in some areas I can tell you why it's happening. In some areas I can't. We are now looking at where we can form some partnerships. I don't want to just demo houses. We say this all the time. We don't want to just represent empty lots. We want communities, and we want to clean up communities, but we want to bring people together. I don't like telling somebody tonight, hey, right now you can't do what you want to do. That's not what I want to be about. We have to follow the rules, though. There might be some exceptions, but for what was in front of us, sometimes you have to say no. At the flip side, we need to find a way to network in our communities, and we're working on some ideas. I realize I have no importance, but I have an important job, okay? But it ain't about me. I have no importance. But in the job that I have the ability to bring people together and to do something. We met with Southern Mutual Help this week, to begin to do some things in some neighborhoods, one block at a time, to uplift some neighborhoods, to get more of that community going so that people can report on that. People can feel comfortable to tell somebody, you know, when they see the AK-47 getting loaded up in the trunk. You know, they're probably not going squirrel hunting, you know? So we need to have a community that can help itself, but we need to be part of it too. So community policing is, you know, some of the neighborhoods we walked. Some of the neighborhoods the entire police department went and knocked doors, which we're going to be doing that again. COVID kind of slowed that down, but some of the neighborhoods we walked in is where we're having those shootings. Can't say we didn't reach out. You can't say it wasn't community policing. Again, cop cars are right around the corner. So I know that I get calls and you get people that become panicked and, you know, this is happening in my neighborhood. They should be. You know, no one wants to live by violent crime. But I think that we are still a new police department. We are still a new council. Any council that comes in, every person that's come before us, all of us, we all know, we all live here. If you come in this room, if you sit up here, or you come in this room and you want to be elected to public service, or you already are in public service, or you're involved in your community, or you're involved in your church, you know what we have is good, but you also know it could be better. So we just need to try to tap into that. But that's kind of it in a nutshell, because I'll bet you if you trace it, there was an article in the newspaper that I think 5 or 6 of the shootings, they directly tracked to people that got let back out of jail. So that's part of it. Can't make an excuse, but it's a fact. So I don't know. That's about all I can say.
Thank you, Mayor. I
Sure.
appreciate that. That's an explanation for the residents that we represent. I appreciate the honesty and the transparency as a mayor. And lastly, we just want to implore the citizens, if you're concerned, we don't want to wait till after something happens. We want to help our police department. So become a part of a neighborhood watch group. Call your council person. Find out, you know, if there's one there, or, look them up. They're on social media. All you have to do is, you know, that's another way to express what's going on and things like that in a safe environment. Even though we have not met due to COVID-19, due to gathering restrictions, but, you know, check those things out. I yield back at this time, Mayor. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you. Justin?
Yeah, I believe all of y'all touched, thank you, Mayor. I believe all of y'all touched on a bunch of points that I'm not gonna repeat, but, and one more thing, please everyone stay safe. This storm, like, I agree with Dan, we've dodged 2 of them, but I think third one's a charm. So, just everybody be safe out there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I forgot. I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Our Savior's Church. They were in the West End Park on Saturday, and they did some cleaning up, some painting. They did an awesome job. We'll hear more about it in the future, but I saw that Saturday with my own eyes, and I just wanted to give them a shout out.
Good. I just have a few tonight, starting on October 14th. That's next week. We'll have the Historic District Master Study, but also all of the neighborhood studies. So that's going to run for a month. It's at Bayou Test Trading Company. Could use the building for free. It's spread out through the whole building. So we are now taking people to come in and saying, hey, I want to see what it is. You can call City Hall. We have it out on Facebook. We are getting it out there on our website. So you can call in at a time that you want to come. I have to keep it COVID friendly. You remember we were doing it before as a big deal. Well, I do have some civic groups that want to come as a group, but they're going to have to keep the numbers low and be able to spread out. But it's going to be open for basically a month so that people can come and see. I invite you to bring members of your district, people that you represent, to show them. That way it can become like a town hall. These are the projects that we all contributed and collaborated on in each district. So they'll be presented, as well as the grants we've already gotten, so people can kind of see where we're heading and see what direction we might be going in the future of the grants we're applying for. It makes a total of about 70 new projects spread out in every district. It's time to get in every district. So I think that's exciting, and you'll be seeing more about it on Facebook. I recommend that you just call City Hall and schedule some time so that, you know, we can work together on that and connect with as many people as we can. And like I said, October 14th through November the 1st, first week of November. Hurricane. I am taking it serious, as we always do. Our crews are out, beginning tomorrow, probably Parks crews as well as Public Works crews will begin to clean drains and get out there as we have combined our forces before to do everything we can. I do ask you to pick up your garbage cans and your branches and not put stuff out. I also ask you to be patient that if it comes with, as the last storm, we got the town clean fairly quickly, but we got a lot of calls and a lot of confusion of, well, it's Gordon's day to come, you know, and I put my stuff out. When a hurricane happens, that becomes null and void. That sits on the sideline. Then we initiate the hurricane contract, and Gordon starts cleaning the town, but he doesn't follow the same route. He's not picking up the normal bulky waste while he's trying to clean the whole town. So I have a meeting in the morning with our new Public Works Director, and both the police chief and the fire chief, as we always do. And then the next day I'll have a meeting with all the department heads. But we are, you know, boots on the ground, making a plan, as we always do. I ask everybody to please stay safe, and, you know, let's pray the whole thing dissipates. I don't want it to go to anywhere, so let's pray that maybe those cold fronts and we can do something that'll knock it down. Other than that, our next meeting is October the 20th, and I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Thank y'all very much.